Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
As always, if you want to have any props nearby, you can have pillows or bolsters or blankets or towels or any yoga props that you have. And you can also use any household items like pillows and blankets. So we're going to get started seated today. So you can always sit up on a pillow or a blanket just to kind of elevate the hips. And if it feels okay with your legs, just start to cross your legs. And you might kind of wiggle around a little bit when you first arrive. Maybe start to close your eyes. Start to soften the shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing the jaw. And just beginning to settle into your body in this space today. Noticing the breath. The inhales and the exhales. And just observing how your body is feeling today. Noticing any places of tightness or tension, or even any spaces that feel more open. Your hands can be wherever is comfortable. And then just nice and slow, start to let the chin fall to the chest. So if you don't already, feel as if your spine is going up nice and tall, as if there's a string right at the back of your neck. And it's just gently trying to lengthen your spine. And then slowly begin to bring the right ear over to the right shoulder. And they have the option to bring your left hand down by your left hip and maybe walk it out to the left side, just to lengthen the left side of the neck and the arm. It may change the sensations, it may not. But just allow your breath to hold you here. We're not going to stay for too long. Just take a couple more breaths. Last breath here. If your left hand was out to the left side, bring it back in. And then nice and slow, allow your chin to come back to the center of the chest. Take a breath there in the center. And then let the head come all the way to the other side. So allow your left ear to find your left shoulder. You have the option to bring your right arm out to the right side. You don't have to do the same thing on both sides if they're feeling really different. Your sides often need different things. So it's okay to make those little changes. Using your breath to hold you. Couple more here. If your right arm is out to the right side, gently bring it in. And nice and slow, let the chin and come back to the center of the chest. Take a breath. Gently lift your head up. And let's reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Reach it nice and tall. Feel yourself grow long. And then release the arms all the way down. Reach the arms all the way up. And release the arms down. One more. Reach the arms up. And then reach the arms all the way down. And start to take your hands behind your back. So begin to interlace your hands. So at that interlace, you can even just hold on to your wrists or your forearms if the interlace doesn't feel good in your body today. And you might keep a bend into your elbows and just start to feel the shoulder heads press back and feel as if your gaze is starting to reach up to the sky. And perhaps your arms start to straighten and you feel as if the fists are trying to pull to the ground, but you can always just let the hands rest on the low back and just focus on opening your heart. Feel like you're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together and almost press the back of your head back. And always moving nice and slow. So if you spend a lot of time on your computer or your phone, you might feel like it's a lot to push the head back and then up. So be really mindful and gentle. We're not going to hold for too long, just finding that opening because we're pretty active here and I don't want you to work too hard. Just one more breath. And start to bring your head back up. Release the arms. If there's anything you need to rinse it out, go ahead and find that. And then just let your legs come out in front of you. And you can shake them out. Wake them up if they fell asleep. Wiggle the toes. Roll out the ankles. And then begin to bring the soles of the feet together and knees wide for butterfly legs. And you can allow your hands to rest on the legs and just start to hinge at the hips and come forward. But I don't want you to round your spine right away. So feel like you're still trying to lengthen the spine and maybe even like you're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit more together to feel a gentle opening through the heart. So it also might prevent you from going really far or as far as you normally go or want to go. And that's okay. Take a few rounds of breath here. You are welcome to stay right here or begin to round the spine. Release your head and feel like you're folding forward. And you could pause even somewhere in the middle of those two, right? You don't need to be all the way in one or all the way in the other. I want you to find that Goldilocks for yourself today. So not too hot, not too cold, just right. And you can always slide blocks or your pillows underneath the thighs. If you feel like you're engaging really hard to hold the legs where they're at. Always reconnecting to your breath. Just a little while longer here. If as we come into our last couple of breaths, you want to play with taking it a little bit deeper, now is your chance. And as you complete your next breath, nice and slow, just start to lift yourself up and out. And you can slowly extend the legs forward. If it feels good to shake them out, you can rinse a little bit. And just really tune into what movement or non-movement your body needs. So go ahead and start to bring yourself into a tabletop position. So just making your way onto your hands and your knees. And then as you come into that tabletop position, just start to feel as if you're trying to drop your belly button to the floor. And you can stay on your palms or you can even drop onto your forearms. Because we are going to hold here for a little bit, not a long time, but just for a little bit in this cow pose. And really feel as if you're trying to press your shoulder blades together. Feel as if you're trying to press the shoulders up to the sky a little bit more. And then nice and slow, just start to press your hips all the way back to your heels for a child's pose. So you can place a bolster or a pillow underneath your belly. Or you can even place a bolster or a pillow or a blanket behind the knees. And don't worry about how close to your heels your hips get. It's okay if they're a little lifted. It's okay if they're really low. And you can just make a pillow with your hands to start and maybe turn one cheek to the ground. And just finding a comfortable position with the arms is all I care about right now. Where you feel like you can let go into the child's pose. And then just start to extend your arms out in front of you and walk your hands over to the right side. So focusing on getting a nice side body stretch here. And then you can always bring your props with you. And then just nice and slow, start to walk your hands over to the left. So getting a nice side body stretch through the other side. And slowly start to walk your hands all the way back to the middle. Pause in your regular child's pose. And pull yourself all the way up. Just coming back onto your hands and your knees. You can start to drop onto your forearms. And just like we did before we met that child's pose, feel like your belly button is trying to drop to the floor. And then this time, instead of dropping back, you're going to come all the way onto your belly. And you can make a pillow with your hands. You can always rock your hips a little bit from side to side when you first get here. And just start to prop yourself up onto your forearms, coming into your Sphinx pose. And start to take your gaze a little forward. So just like we did at the very beginning when you felt like you were just gently pushing your head back, feel that same action. And if you want to go lighter in the back, if the compression is too much, you can always walk the elbows forward, but don't go so far forward that you like fall. You still want to have just a little bit of action to keep yourself up. And you can even bring just the pinkies on the ground so that way your palms aren't down. It can be a little bit more comfortable for the wrists. It's really about kind of pressing into that elbow. You're a little more active than you might want to be here, and that's okay. Just a few more rounds of breath. And slowly start to lower yourself all the way down. You can do whatever you want with the arms. Maybe just taking a few moments to just notice how it feels to breathe and move the belly as you breathe. Feeling it pressing into the floor and away. Just one or two more rounds of breath here. And slowly you'll start to lift yourself up and bring yourself back to that tabletop position. So this might be a hard move. It's okay if it takes a minute or two. And when you arrive in this tabletop position, I invite you to move however you want to move here. So you can move through some cat-cows, maybe just rock the hips, move the body. You also could just be completely still. Really just check in and tune in with what you need here. And start to drop onto your forearms. So just like we did before, feel like your belly button is trying to drop to the floor. You might stay on your forearms and come into this modified puppy pose. Or you might start to walk the hands forward and let your heart actually start to drop more to the floor, and even bring your forehead to the ground. So the purpose is you're still trying to keep the hips high and really just focusing on arching the back. So when you're on your forearms, you've got a little less arch, but a little bit more support. And then as you drop it lower, you're getting deeper into the arch and really just letting gravity push you into it. So I invite you to play. You can also let the head go wherever you need. I don't want you to feel like you're creating more tension in the neck. I really want you to focus on letting go here. And you can even bring a bolster or a pillow kind of underneath your chest so it actually has something to rest on. And maybe taking it a little bit further if you want to play with going a little deeper. Just a few more rounds of breath here. And the best way to start to come out of it is to bring yourself back to your forearms. You can come back towards the tabletop, find any movement here, or just allow your body to sink back towards a child's pose. Then taking the next couple of minutes to make your way onto your backs. So any way you want to get there, anywhere you want to pause, anything you need to take on the way there. I like to often pause just in the side position before coming all the way onto my back. You can always roll onto your belly and flip over. And then even whenever you do arrive on your back, you can still take your time getting there, taking whatever you need when you first arrive. So it could be movement, it could be stillness, it could be a deep stretch. And then eventually just letting your legs come out in front of you. You can take your feet a little wide and just release the front of the hips. And then reach the arms up to the ceiling and just give yourself a little hug. So we've been spending a lot of time today squeezing the shoulder blades together. So I want you to focus for a little bit here on just kind of gently pulling the shoulder blades apart. And almost feel like you're trying to press that space between the shoulder blades into your mat. There's too much compression in the low back. You can always slide your bolster or your pillow or even your blocks actually underneath your thighs. It will just help lift up the low back a little bit. And then nice and slow, just let the arms go down by your side. And slowly start to bend your knees so the feet rest on the floor. And you're gonna just let those knees knock towards each other. So it doesn't matter if they touch, your feet might come a little wide, perhaps as wide as your mat. And just kind of letting them fall to the middle. Just reconnecting with your breath if you've lost it. And you are welcome to stay right here. Or you can let your legs come out in front of you. And finding a place where you can comfortably pause and be still for the last few minutes of class. And just taking this time in complete and total gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. Slowly starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. And rocking your head from side to side. Whenever you feel ready, you can slowly, as if you're moving in slow motion, bring yourself all the way up into a comfortable seat, keeping the focus inside. And bringing your hands to your heart center, gently bowing your head. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.